All right. I like this. I like that horn playing. Holy moly. Hey, everybody. Here we go. Hope you're ready. Welcome to the show. It's Friday, and you know what that means. I don't know what it means. No, it's Q&A day, and I haven't even set up the Q&A yet. How about that? Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. And I had a little problem at the end of the show yesterday. The internet went out in my entire neighborhood. So you didn't even hear the last things I was talking about, and I didn't realize the show ended until I'm like, why isn't anybody chatting? And then all of a sudden, the whole thing dropped out of the sky. So the main topic from yesterday never made it into the hopper. So we'll start with that today, trending topics, and then I'm going to let you decide what we talk about for the most part. If you have things you want to talk about, you can drop them in the chat or in the Q&A section. I promise, I will do my best to make that a thing today. In fact, here, I'm going to put it right now. Question of the day, damn it, if I can spell, do you want to talk about? If you have a particular article or a particular topic that's hot, we can certainly do that. And if I don't have anything on it, I'll find something. We'll Google or whatever it is. So let's do it. Shall we? Shall we do it? Oh, don't let that music start yet. Hold up. There you go. There's the Q&A. Johnny, do me the favor. Play the intro so we can get this thing started.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
All right. Thank you, Alyssa. Johnny, stop the music and let's get this thing going. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where sometimes things don't go as planned. And yesterday was one of those days. Deep into the show, I realized that all of a sudden no one was chatting anymore. And I looked down and I'm like, oh, that's because my internet's not connected. And so the show was still going on my end, but it wasn't on yours because you couldn't see it. So we'll do our best. We'll figure it out to make sure that doesn't happen again. I think sometimes the cold weather affects the cable company. I get my internet through cable. That's what I use cable for, because get the high-speed internet's great, except when it goes out. So anyway, we'll get to that, get to the topic from yesterday. In fact, I got to find that. Where was that? It was the, what was it that I wanted to talk about yesterday? Well, I'll remember in a second. Anyway, let's say hi to everybody and get this thing started. First in the chat over on Rumble, Mr. Jimmy Das Hotep beat out the man. Way to go, Jimmy Das. Also at the Rumble side, Avocados Diablos in the house, and Mike Savage, Blarg. And that's it. There's 5 people watching on Rumble. That's, don't know that's up with that. And on YouTube, first in the chat is also Jimmy Das Hotep. I am not used to hitting this button. Well done, sir. Also, good morning, Sure You Gospel, Mike Savage, Blarg, Zed the Snarky, Lord Stanhope, Attack Alpaca, and Simon Wolfwood. I already said Sure You Gospel. Rabid Rabbit as opposed to Rabbit. Very weird. I can see the stream on this account, but not my other. Oh, there you go. The Avocados Tablet is here. Okay, and you just gave up the what is that? The goods on Rabbit. Also, good morning, Lord Stanhope, Jay Pylon, also a Hotep Nation fellow. Good morning also to Scribe Light, Dog Thrapple, and Entire Alexander the Gentleman Lich. Anna Lynn's in the house. Jason Who, GDSOB, and that looks like everybody. That looks like it's everybody. So, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get into what we're going to talk about. I got to go back. I had a very particular. I want to open the article I was going to use. Oh, here it is. Okay, this is the one. Okay, we'll get that. We'll start. That'll be the main topic. Also, if you have topics you want to talk about, it's similar to an open line Friday thing, except you can pick topics and put them in the Q&A section on YouTube, or put 3 question marks before and after what you want to talk about. Oh, I just clicked on the Q&A section, and it says the question is, what do you want to talk about? And thank you, Avocados Diabli, who filled in, sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. That's funny. Yeah, okay, I'll find a sex topic. No problem. We'll do it. Good morning also, Black Hebrew Israel.
That's right.
Your mama's so fat. Uh-oh, I'm worried. Good morning. Y'all invested your health today. That's a good idea too. Dimmy Das Hotep over on Rumble saying, good morning, y'all. Invest in your health today. Good idea. And Jimmy is the master of investing in his health. He's been doing great. Also, good morning, Bookworm Addict. So there you go. Trending topics that are happening right now, though. I got 7 notifications too. Maybe I should figure out what those are. I think I know. Wait, what happened here? Why is that window not open? That was supposed to be open. Did I tweet out the show today? I'm pretty sure I did. Yes, I did. Okay. Thank you real quick for the people who have already shared the stream, and I would be very, very happy for you to do that. Thank you, Somnambule Nation, Jimmy Das Hotep, and also looks like Tyler F. retweeted the show. Share the stream, will you? Share the stream with some. Sharing is caring, and I know you care. Share the show. Also hit the like button during the show, and if you want to sponsor the show, pdognight.live, that thing pops up in the chat every once in a while. I'll pin the best one. We'll drop a deuce today. Drop a deuce in the chip jar. Actually, drop a 5 spot in for the 5th year anniversary of the Morning Night Live. I'd be so happy. I didn't. I never did the. I never reset yesterday. So let's reset the. Let's reset the Streamlab Superstar sponsor of the day. We do not currently have a Streamlab Superstar sponsor of the day. You could be the Streamlab Superstar sponsor of the day. So there you go. Thank you to the people who are already sharing the stream. I greatly appreciate it. Let's start with a couple important things. Oh, I know I did that because it's Miami International Airport. I didn't go back to home. That explains it. All right. We do have a day today. We have a day. You know, because every day there's a day. Sharon is Karen. Well, some Sharons are Karens. So anyway, it is national. It's freaking National Popcorn Day. And when I pulled this up, because you go in the Twitter topics and you you find things, and I always worry because anytime you scroll in any Twitter topic, you're liable to get body parts on the screen that you really shouldn't have on YouTube. But I think this one is fairly tame, and I don't know why it's the top one on National Popcorn Day, but apparently Ivy Eros is celebrating National Popcorn Day by putting a near fatal, what do you call those? Wardrobe malfunction with a nearly miss wardrobe malfunction. My mouth is malfunctioning. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. And she says, I think she has a little problem with her sentence structure here, because she says, "How you pop inside me today?" And I think she meant, "How would you like to pop inside me today?" Well, young lady, I'm not planning on that ever, because I'm very happily married for over 30 years and I'm a grandfather. So I don't need to, I have no desire to pop inside of you, Ivy. But, nice try. That's okay. But it is National Popcorn Day. There's a funny picture of a baseball player taking some popcorn from a kid's thing, and I'm sure the kid was just thrilled. AMC Theaters, happy National Popcorn Day. From AMC Theaters, popcorn tastes good in a place like this. I don't know why it is. I'm really not sure why. But they're kind of right. I don't know why movie theater popcorn is so much better than just popcorn you make at home. Maybe it's because they have that super fine salt that they, put in it. And, the butter is pseudo butter. I don't even know if any of them use real butter anymore. But for whatever reason, there's just something about movie popcorn. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. All right. I have a kind of step. I'm certain, no, but I will pop all over. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, the mind's in the gutter today. Okay, also, this is a momentous day, and I actually decided to make it part of my thumbnail today. Today is the icon Dolly Parton's birthday today. People kind of consider her a rock star, even though she's always been country, but it is happy birthday, Dolly Parton. And that's not Dolly Parton, but there's all kinds of pictures of Dolly Parton on the internet today, because now this is one of my favorite, man. When she was young and she had that big ass hair. I mean, she's always had big ass hair, but that is quite the thing. That's when her hair was still her hair. Mostly she wears wigs now. But country star Dolly Parton, famous for being a country singer, and just everyone loves Dolly Parton for some reason. She has her amusement park in Tennessee, and she's sang the Super Bowl. What was it? The halftime show last year? No, it was halftime. Oh no, she did the halftime show at the Dallas Cowboys Thanksgiving Day game or whatever they do. So anyway, happy birthday, Dolly Parton. I don't know anybody who generally does not like Dolly Parton. I don't know what this is, though. That had nothing to do with Dolly Parton. But anyway, so I'm leaving that tab up, and there's all kinds of pictures and videos of her singing and shit. And happy birthday, Dolly Parton. Now, someone else who would have celebrated a birthday day if they had been still not unended, would be the young rapper Mac Miller. Apparently, this guy was a talented rapper, and a lot of people, I remember when he died, and I was like, all these people were saying, oh, rest in peace, Mac Miller. And I'm like, I don't even know really who he is, but he would have been 32 today, if you know who Mac Miller is. Apparently a talented young man, and a lot, even the brothers even liked it. They never, he kind of got the Eminem treatment, you know what I mean? Where people liked him. Also today, another great in music history. He doesn't have nice tits. No, he doesn't. Janis Joplin. It's Janis Joplin's birthday today. She was born on this day in 1943. I don't know if y'all have a favorite Janis Joplin song, but yeah. So 43. So she'd have been what, 80 years old, right? Is that right? Yeah, she'd have been 80 years old today. And it's funny. I love this clip of her and Tom Jones singing together. I'm going to put that as a separate one. I'm not going to play it because, every time you play music on here, you get in trouble. But it is news, even though it's newsworthy. I'm going to copy this link. Her and Tom Jones, what song were they singing? Let me see if I can see what song they were singing. There, put that on the browser there. What song were they singing? It was, well, here, I'll take a chance. Watch. Okay, anyway, I'm going to leave this link, because if you've never seen this, Tom Jones and Janis Joplin singing together, it is quite the treat. All right, real quick. Thank you. We got our first sponsor today, Jimmy Das Hotep. You are the new Streamlab Superstar sponsor of the day. Dropping a 5 spot in the tip jar saying salute to 5 years of the Morning Night Live show. Share this show. Yes, share the show. And Jimmy, you are awesome. And you know, I love you, brother. Hopefully, see, I met Jimmy at HotepCon number 2. We both were at the second Hotep convention in Las Vegas a couple years ago. And neither of us got to go this year. So hopefully, maybe I'll see you there this year, because I am planning on going to HotepCon for sure this year. So hopefully I'll see you there again. But Jimmy's a good friend, and greatly appreciate him. All right. Also today, trending Wayfair story, little economic news in the next 3 trending topics. Wayfair, the U.S. home goods company, has cut 1,650 jobs in a strategic realignment, 13% of its workforce. This is kind of wild. A lot of people talking about this. The CEO said they're aligning with our core resource principles. The company is targeting $280 million in annual savings, with shares already up 8% in pre-market trading. Wayfair has become best known for its Kelly Clarkson partnership and exclusive home collections, and that source is NBC, CNBC, and Reuters. Now, someone here says they laid off 1,615 employees. Let's see if there's anything else on this. Wayfair is trending. Remember when Trumpers thought that their credenzas came with traffic children? That's why. Okay, what? Some people write some stupid shit when they pontificate on the internet, and I have no idea what that meant. Okay, this is someone says Wayfair lays off 13% of its workforce weeks after telling employees to work harder. And some people are saying, fuck you, CEO scumbag. All right, let me see if I can find an actual article on this, because now people are just being stupid. Here's a Wall Street Journal article. Maybe I'll be able to actually read it. Copy. Let's try this. Hopefully. Yes, it is. Okay, here we go. Here's the Wall Street Journal article on it. Wayfair boss, weeks after viral memo, cuts 13% of staff. CEO Niraj Shah says online retailer went overboard in hiring. Hello, Cyan Wizard and Judafine, by the way. Anonymity T2, I'll be back. And did anyone else show up while I was not paying attention? It looks like everybody. Okay, so Wayfair is laying off 13% of its employees weeks after the company's chief executive sent a memo asking them to work harder. On Friday, the online retailer said it would lay off around 1,650 employees. Wayfair, which primarily sells furniture and other home goods, has done several rounds of large layoffs in recent years as pandemic furniture buying has cooled. I didn't know furniture buying was a pandemic. Hello, Jason Who. We went overboard in hiring during a strong economic period and veered away from our core principles. And while we have come quite far back to them, we are not quite there, CEO Niraj Shah said in a memo to staff on Friday. In 2022, Wayfair laid off about 900 people as the pandemic sales and profit boom faded. Last year, the company laid off another 1,700 people as sales fell. Before the pandemic, Wayfair in early 2020 laid off about 500 workers as it grappled with losses. Now, it's interesting because their stock went up because of this. Did they laid off more workers? Are their sales suffering? I'm going to guess that maybe that's the case. So there you go. So 1,600 of, those new jobs that Joseph Biden created are going away. Anyway, another interesting economic news, the Ford F-150 Lightning is trending because it's another electric vehicle disaster. Ford Motor Company cut production of its F-150 Lightning electric truck amid fading demand for electric vehicles. Now, I don't know that the F-150 Lightning was ever in giant demand anyway. Oh, crap. I hate when they do this. All right, let me go back to the trending topic here because I was going to read the Bloomberg article, but they decided to be a pain in my behind. Let's see if anyone's archived it yet. Yes, they have. I believe so. Okay, here we go. So, they've cut workforce making the electric F-150s on weak demand. They said that they would reduce the number of workers making F-150 Lightning trucks as demand for electric vehicles continues to weaken. Well, yeah, especially in winter when you can't even charge them. About 1,400 employees will be impacted at the Rouge Electric Vehicle Center transition as the Rouge Vehicle Center transitions to one shift beginning April 1st. The Dearborn, Michigan-based automaker said on Friday in a statement. The company said it expects continued growth in global EV sales in 2024, though it will be less than anticipated. Last month, Bloomberg reported that Ford would cut production goals for the F-150 EV in half this year. Half! It's kind of funny. Do you think that people who drive pickups, I mean, granted, there's the status-seeking wannabes who drive the Cybertruck from Tesla. They celebrities and shit buy that shit. But people who drive pickups, do you think they want to have a vehicle that it takes like 9 hours to charge? Do you really think that? And their battery life suck. And, when EV pickup has battery life, has its battery life drop, even with light workloads. Yeah, I mean, they're not really good for long hauling, pulling trailers, carrying dirt, hauling shit, work and just working period in winter. So no one and guess what? If you got a long trip where you're driving a trailer, like when I went to Omaha after my mom passed away, and we had to go clean out her house, I took my gas-powered Ford F-150, and it's a 6-hour drive, and I was pulling a trailer, which probably had another 1,500, 2,000 pounds in the trailer when I came back. And you know what? If I'm going to drive to Omaha in a gas-powered truck, I can get there almost on one tank of gas, but I can fill it on my way there and be on my way in 10 minutes and still get to Omaha in a decent amount of time. If I would have had a Ford Lightning, I would have only made it to Mason City before I would have needed charge. Actually, Chargeville would have taken probably 12 hours to charge the thing fully to get the rest of the way. I'm not doing that in an EV. Nobody wants an EV as a working pickup. If you have a business and you got a fleet of pickup trucks, you do not want EVs. So basically an EV for a pickup is just a status symbol, because EVs might be okay if you use it for a work commuting car or, small round town stuff, but not for working. Sorry. Nope. So FTG not to Ford. They're seeing the light, cutting production for a reason. All right. Also trending. What was this supposed to be? Oh, maybe I messed up here. Oh, Miami International Airport's trending. I don't know if y'all saw this, but there was a Atlas Boeing 747-8 that was returning on an emergency return flight because it caught on fire. Now, this was a cargo plane, new Atlas Boeing 747-8 cargo plane forced to make an emergency landing at Miami International Airport after an engine appeared to catch fire. What's going on with Boeing? Plane took off around 10:32 p.m. and immediately circled back, just like Jen Psaki. It landed at Miami International Airport, and okay, that's the same question. What's going on? But it landed back at the airport 14 minutes later at 10:46. Luckily, the crew was safe. The crew followed all standard procedures and safety returned to Miami Atlas Air announced. So here's the thing. It's not that what's going on with Boeing, okay? It's not about what is going on with Boeing. Let me put it this way. We got to know about everything news culture right now. And so if two things happen with the Boeing airplane in a small succession, for example, the door blew off of one of their planes and this one caught on fire. We wouldn't, 30 years ago, you might not have found out about this for a couple weeks. But anything that has to do with planes in particular, any kind of mishap, disaster, whatever, we're going to hear about it, no matter where it is in the world. And thing is, if you think how many flights there are around the world, and even just the United States, how many flights there are every single day, as far as, miles traveled or whatever, planes are pretty safe. And in fact, they're very safe. It's just that, having two in another. Now, here's what's going to happen, though. I know this is going to happen, and it's always silly to me. We have one mishap, okay, and it's bound to happen. These companies are not going to be perfect. There's going to be mishaps here and there, and there's going to be some kind of congressional investigation into Boeing because of the two mishaps that are close to each other in time frame, and it's a little silly to me. But anyway, good morning. I said Jason. Jethro Hetero's in the house. Amazing Disgrace in the house. Nice to see you, Anna Lynn. I think I'm caught up. Anyway, so there you go. That's why Miami International Airport is trending. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind today. Now, Jussie Smollett is trending. Now, it's not because of anything Jussie Smollett did, although we're coming up on the 5-year anniversary of the Jussie Smollett attack, where he was almost lynched and someone almost stole a Subway sandwich by the guys yelling, "This is MAGA country." But that's not why he's trending right now. Some people are comparing somebody apparently has a story similar to Jussie Smollett, and people are not buying it. Now, I don't know whether the story is true, but apparently Representative Barbara Lee is telling of a harrowing tale she had, I guess, in Washington. Let's just watch this clip because I really don't know anything about this. And so let's find out about this clip. We'll see what Barbara Lee says. This is her story. And they're talking about racism because, Nikki Haley said something this has never been a racist country. Whatever she said. It was kind of dumb because since she followed up talking about how she was a victim of racism. But whatever. Let's see this story right here.
These are not little kinks, first of all. Racism, institutional racism, is in the DNA of this country.
Institutional racism. In the DNA of this country.
When you look at what has taken place, look at our Native Americans, the genocide of Native Americans. When you look at what has taken place as it relates to African Americans, the 250 years plus of enslaving African Americans, and then you look at the disparities now in our community in terms of health care, unemployment, the wealth gap, housing. You can't tell me that systemic racism does not exist. It's not just a little kink. Secondly, you have personal racism, which is hard to
Here we
address,
go. Is this the
but
story?
I'll give you one little story.
Oh, now let's listen to this story carefully because we want to make sure, because I wonder if it's a story that we've already heard about. Apparently she has a story.
Shows you why we need to understand that I don't think she really understands racism. I was walking from the House building on Capitol Hill to the Capitol, and a white guy, stopped me and told me I could not get into the members' elevator. And we have pens, and I was going to vote. And he blocked me from getting into the elevator and told me I was not a member of Congress and it was for members only. I said, "Sir, I'm a member of Congress." And I showed him my pen, and he said, "Whose pen did you steal?" Now, this is an example of personal racism and how people of color constantly have to deal with this each and every day.
That's interesting.
But systemic racism.
That's interesting. I've never heard this story before.
And just look at what they're trying to do in terms of eliminating diversity, equity, and
okay. So that's the story that she said. Okay, she's telling about this story. Now, some people, let's see. I don't believe this story. It has a Jussie Smollett ring of authenticity. Caitlin Conley's uncritical reaction adds to the atmosphere of political fakery. This fanciful tale might have worked in the past, but we are now through the lies. Well, let's see, because well, here, there's some people talking about this on Twitchy, the website that basically follows tweets and stuff. Representative Barbara Lee's story about a white man at the Capitol who wouldn't let her on the elevator and accused her of stealing her congressional pin is not going over well on Twitter/X. Some people don't believe her. I wonder why that would be. So some people say, and then he yelled, "This is MAGA country." But no, anyway, Jesse Lee in a made-for-TV movie. Jesse as Lee in a made-for-TV movie. This guy will need some work eventually. All the things that never happened. This is the neverest. And then he said, "This is MAGA country," because, John Hawkins. Then when she stepped in the elevator, she noticed the door pull shaped like a tiny noose that had undoubtedly been put there by some racist that knew she was going to be in there. With 100% certainty, if what she said actually happened, she would have immediately told Pelosi the white man would have been fired and it would have been national news. And no, there are no random white dudes standing in front of elevators stopping Congresswoman. That's the other part. Who would have this have been? Who would have been the person standing in the elevator? But I hope you being there would have never been an incident report. Yes, the X to doubt. That's right. Let's see. She left out the part of the story where the white man was Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. Had to update. If this actually happened, it's awful. But if it didn't actually happen, it's even more awful. Easy to solve. There are tapes. Let's watch them. Fair point. If this did happen, we should condemn it. Of course we should. So surely she would support pulling the tape so we can see who it was and when, except she won't push for that because she made this all up to play the victim. And now that Trump has won Iowa, they're all getting ready to play the race card unlike they've never ever played before. And considering how obnoxious it has been since around 2008, it ain't going to be pretty. So, you would think you might have heard of this incident before. I don't know if anyone's scouring the internet yet to find out if this was been reported before. You would think that would have been national news, and somebody certainly would have been fired. But anyway, it's a great timing though, because we are coming up on the 5-year anniversary of the Jussie Smollett story, which I'm excited about because, that was my favorite story my first year in doing this show. Also trending, Barbara Lee because of that, and Caitlin Collins because of that, for not questioning that. Goya is trending. Goya, the bean and Mexican food company out of wherever they're from, is a New York company, and people are mad at the Goya CEO again because he was on Fox News saying that, well, here he's on Fox News. Here's what he said, because you're not allowed to be supportive of Trump and believe in God or whatever, and so people are mad at him.
Tremendous weakness, and it's put us in a really precarious situation.
You once said that Donald Trump's leadership was a blessing, and people associate him with chaos, but what you described going on internationally and how it's affecting food prices looks like chaos to me.
Well, the Holy Spirit put that word on my lips, and I think he's going to lead this country not only to prosperity, but closer to God. And, we wouldn't have all the things that we're having right now if President Trump was in office. What we have is a disaster. The border, don't even get me going.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so this is the CEO of Goya Foods. Now, the last time, he said something of that nature, there was an attempt to have people boycott Goya Foods. And I think a lot of conservatives who'd never heard of Goya Foods started buying that stuff because, and actually, I do use a couple Goya products. Like when I make chili, they have their beans are great. They have some other Mexican food products that are good, and I've bought them anyway. But the left wants to boycott Goya. We must boycott Goya for supporting Trump. And so this guy went out and bought his first stash of Mexican food, and he displayed it on his backyard, on his it looks like a deck or a backyard fence. Anyway, so the left is trying to boycott Goya beans and product. This is a great sign. Worked out so well for them in 2016. Let's see. Somewhere in here, let's see. I'm going to find someone who's mad about it. Oh, my God. What is Chrissy Teigen wearing? Oh, yes. Remember in 2020, there's Chrissy Teigen almost having a wardrobe malfunction. Remember in July of 2020 when the internet bully and plastic surgery enthusiast Chrissy Teigen called for a boycott of Goya Foods because the CEO supported Trump It resulted in sales skyrocketing. Yeah, that was a vote with your dollars thing, and all the MAGA people went out and bought made tacos that night. So there you go. Also happening in the world, let's see. Peter Navaro is trending. Apparently, the weaponized DOJ system is going to try to put Peter Navaro in jail because he refused to testify in front of the January 6th committee. He claimed executive privilege as part of the executive branch. Just in, the Department of Justice seeking 6 months in prison for Peter Navaro for defying a subpoena from the January 6th Select Committee. And the quote here is, he cloaked his bad faith strategy of defiance and contempt behind baseless and unfounded invocations of executive privilege and immunity. Well, let's see. Other people are talking about this. There is a couple articles I'll just link. Both The Hill, and we'll put up Gateway Pundit's article. Let's see who wrote this. Jim himself wrote it for Gateway Pundit. Why isn't this not going? Here we go. The former Trump advisor, Dr. Peter Navaro, was convicted of criminal contempt of Congress in September for refusing to comply with the subpoena to testify before Liz Cheney's sham January 6th committee. Navaro did not comply with the subpoena because he said Trump told him to assert executive privilege. The far-left D.C. jury convicted Navaro on 2 counts of contempt after deliberating for 4 hours. NBC reported 2 counts each carry a minimum of 30 days and a maximum of 1 year in prison, and an additional maximum fine of $100,000. Holy shit. The federal grand jury in 2022 indicted Navaro for contempt, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, it's again, the weaponized DOJ, and the same article in The Hill, mainly just factual, I'm sure. Moving on. Ehrlich is trending. Now, if you don't know who Ehrlich is, Paul Ehrlich is the man who wrote the book, The Population Bomb. And so people are talking about that today. Why? Well, apparently there's a thread here by Nate Silver, maybe. Let's see. He said, so far, the final chapter in my book, I've been reading a lot about technological progress and the future of humanity, and I come across Paul Ehrlich's The Population Bomb. And holy shit, how profoundly evil it is to think that the problem is that too many humans exist. Now, this is interesting because the only reason I even care about this today, and some people says the book is probably responsible for over 1 billion people not being born, a genocide of the future. And in fact, right now, the global population is 2 to 3 times larger than when Ehrlich wrote this, and there is a much smaller percentage of the world's population in severe poverty. There are not ambiguous facts. These are not ambiguous facts, and it's pretty disturbing that they're not more widely known. This is a book that when I was in college, when I changed my major from music to speech communication and rhetoric, one of my professors, that was one of the books. I had one of my speech professors was very, very liberal, and he was the reading list for that class was like all these left-wing doomsday books. One of them was The Population Bomb. And here's an example of the final chapter. Thank you, Ty Alexander, for sponsoring the show. Whoops, what the hell did I do? Thank you for dropping a small bullet in the tip jar. Quick Google search. Barbara Lee has been in Congress since 1998. You're telling me she has been in Congress that long and isn't known by everybody? If you believe I have the mining right deeds to Alpha Centauri and it can be yours for $12 million. Well, I know exactly who Barbara Lee is. She's a congresswoman from California. She's actually running for the United States Senate from California. But you would think, now, if she's been in Congress since 98, and this is the first time we're hearing that story, you would think that would be a story she would tell every chance she got. And yet it just popped up. It just popped up for the first time today. No one ever heard her tell that story before. Anyway, back to The Population Bomb. Hello, Select Boy. Back to the population bomb, though. Here's Tim Carney put a section of this book, for example. A crucial and unappreciated factor in the desire of a people to reproduce itself is how the people answer this question. Are we good? As in, are people good? The we in this question is as subjective as the good. Maybe the we you think of is Americans. Maybe it's Mormons. Maybe it's working class Hispanics. Maybe it's San Francisco hipsters. Maybe your definition of good is based on whether we harm or help the planet. Maybe it's based on whether God loves us. Germans of 1970 couldn't say we Germans are good. Can today's upper middle class liberals say we are good? Can those who believe we face a climate apocalypse of our own making believe that we are good? Can those who think, oh wait, this isn't from that book. This is more recent. You must have some other writings. Can those who believe we face a climate apocalypse of our own making believe that we are good? Can those who think that America is essentially and irreparably racist believe that we are good? Can you scroll social media all day long and think we are good? Can modern men and women who increasingly reject the idea of a loving God look beyond our own failings and see an ultimately good soul? Or are we all overcome by a mixture of guilt, despair, and grief, a civilizational sadness? Civilizational sadness is not unique in our time and place. It's not the only cause of our baby bust, but it's clearly a major cause, and it underlies many of the others. It's especially pernicious because, unlike Methuselah's model of birth rates, in which baby booms and busts are self-correcting, sadness is self-reinforcing. Okay, this is some depressing shit. I'm sorry. I don't think that's something is that something he wrote? Oh, that is from the final chapter. It's an update. I forgot. He's been doing revisions of that book for a long time. But his predictions are just asinine if you look at the original version of this in the 1980s. So anyway, but it was a hugely popular theory back in the 60s and 70s as far as the population bomb, that we're just the population will overwhelm the world, and we won't be able to feed everybody. But obviously technological advances and or in particular. And also just the spread of capitalism, which has fed more of the world than any socialist nation has saved the world. And really, you could fit the entire population of the world in the state of Texas, and everyone would have at least 1 acre of land to live on. So, or something like that. I've heard some stupid stat like that. Are there 8 billion acres in Texas? Something like that. Anyway. So that's why Ehrlich is trending. Also trending, Michelle Obama's trending. Still people trying to think that maybe Michelle Obama should take over for Joe Biden as the president nominee for the United States of America. And I have no idea what anyone think that someone would vote for Michelle Obama for president, but she's apparently very popular among a certain part of the populace. And so go figure. But there are people who are thinking that's stupid, that they're not going to replace Joe Biden with Michelle Obama. It'd be someone like Kamala Harris or what's his name? Gavin Newsom. So anyway, and then the final trending topic that I wanted to pop into was SCOTUS, the Supreme Court. Apparently there's several cases regarding Trump going before the Supreme Court right now amid a series of setbacks for January. Oh, this is from something else. Amid recent setbacks for January 6th prosecution, some prominent figures question whether the DOJ should be charging virtually everyone who went into the Capitol without permission that day. Barr and former acting U.S. Attorney Sherwin say no. Comey says yes. So this is an article in Politico. Federal prosecutors brought more than 1,200 criminal cases related to January 6th. Blah, blah, blah. 3 years after a pro-Donald Trump mob threatened the transfer of power. Did they now? Did they? Okay, this is so ridiculous. Every time I read articles like this. So, the January 6th insurrection. Why didn't they... If they took over the Capitol, right? They got inside. How long did they stay? How many hours did this insurrection, this attempt to threatened the transfer of power. How long did they stay? Why? Because we've had places where people have taken over the Senate building because of Palestine or some women shit or whatever, right? And they take over, they chant, protest, whatever, and have to be removed by police. January 6, 2021. How many people, the plan was to overthrow the government of the United States of America. They got into the Congress building. Why didn't they stay? Why didn't they take over the government of the United States of America? Why did they just kind of, after milling around for a while, and some did some stupid things like breaking in Pelosi's office or whatever. After milling around for a while in the Capitol building, they had the Capitol building. Why didn't they take over the government of the United States of America? Why did they just leave, barely being prompted to go? They were asked to leave, and they left. Boy, that's a hell of a plan to overthrow the government of the United States of America, which was a stupid thing anyway, because the guy in power was still in power that day. They were going to overthrow, oh my God. It's the dumbest thing they say over and over. They were going to overthrow the government of the United States of America. Okay, why didn't they? Why did they just leave after a couple hours after being, asked to leave? Apparently, there was no insurrection. It's the silliest thing ever. So anyway, so some of these cases, Trump cases, are going to the Supreme Court, and they've agreed to hear some. I see what I did there. Let's see, SCOTUS. Now, this Joe Walsh guy, not the not that Joe Walsh. The Joe Walsh, the former congressman of Florida. He's one of the biggest persons who cannot stop talking about. Well, here's what he tweeted. Trump threatened chaos and bedlam. If SCOTUS rules, he can't be on the ballot in Colorado. A person who threatens chaos and bedlam if a court of law rules against him is a thug. Ted Cruz talking about the SCOTUS uniting 179 members of Congress to defend Trump before SCOTUS, plus Biden targeting MAGA and DOJ admits Hunter laptop was real. He's talking about his podcast. But anyway, 179 congressional GOP asked SCOTUS to reverse the Colorado ruling. I guess they're going to start talking about that. There's been some, if I was Biden and the Ginny Thomas SCOTUS. Oh, this is this asshole. If I was Biden, the Ginny Thomas SCOTUS says Trump has unlimited immunity. I would seize all of Trump's resorts and turn them over to the VA, the Veterans Administration, to house homeless veterans. I would make the entire Trump family pick up garbage along the freeways forever. He's not asking for unlimited immunity. He's not asking for unlimited immunity. He's saying that he has immunity for acts that he committed as the president of the United States. He's not saying that if he actually took a Secret Service gun out of his holster and shot him in the head, that he would have immunity from that. That's not an official act of being president of the United States. But in some of these stupid cases that they're bringing, in Washington and elsewhere, for example, the voting integrity one in Georgia. Was he acting as a president of the United States, trying to ensure the integrity of the election, even as his own, at its own advantage, but whatever? Is that an official act of the president of the United States to make sure that our democracy is running correctly? Now, did he do it in a manner that that is dubious as far as legality or whatever? The legal arguments. Well, you certainly can have your day in court and make legal arguments, and if they're bad legal arguments, you lose in court. But the idea that this was not something that was concerning to the president of the United States, and that's not a function of being the president of the United States, Well, that's a silly argument too. That if you can't do acts like, for example, if you have foreign policy decisions that you make that someone from another party doesn't like, and then they can go and prosecute you for the foreign policy decisions you made while you were in as the president, that would be a pretty bad way to run a country. So you'd have immunity from those official acts as the president of the United States. And so that's what he's arguing. Everyone, the people who are lying and want to exaggerate this are saying, well, he's saying that he has immunity to kill people if he wants to, or to assassinate somebody or whatever. Let's take Soleimani, for example. Okay. Could someone bring charges against him for retaliating against the terrorists over there and killing Soleimani after the fact? No, that's an official act of the United States government and president, and that you cannot be charged, cannot be whatever. But so what's this Julie Kelly thread? I really didn't intend to go this long on this. We'll get to Q&A next. I'm going to skip my other story. Good explainer as to why March 4th trial date is a goner. Still no decision from D.C. Appellate Court 10 days after oral arguments, and Trump is entitled to other legal relief until the immunity issue is settled. So here it is. 20 hours ago, Josh Gersten said, judge signals delay likely for Trump federal election subversion trial set for March 4th. New order says she'll likely give Trump additional time based on notion he need not prepare while his immunity appeal is pending. So that's also an article in Politico. It's the same article. It's the same article. Oh, no, it's a different article. Judge overseeing the federal case against Donald Trump for attempting to subvert the 2020 presidential election indicated Thursday that a March 4th trial date is unlikely to hold. A 6-page order, U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan barred special counsel Jack Smith from filing substantive new motions without advance permission while Trump is seeking to have the case thrown out on presidential immunity grounds. The judge, an appointee of President Barack Obama, noted that she set the March trial date in late August to allow Trump and his attorneys 7 months to prepare, but that clock was paused in December after Trump appealed Chutkan's determination that Trump was not immune from criminal prosecution. The appeal also meant that all of Chutkan's previously established deadlines for pretrial filings were paused as well, freeing Trump from any legal steps he might need to or choose to take in advance of trial. In Thursday's order, Chutkan suggested that the time has elapsed since his appeal would not be counted against him if that case gets back on track. Contrary to defendants' assertion, the court has not and will not set deadlines in this case based on the assumption that he has undertaken preparations when not required to do so. So, Jack Smith is not going to get his March 4th trial date. So there you go. And then the other political article is here. All right, I'm gonna skip what I was gonna do, and I'm gonna go straight to the Q&A because I want to make sure I get to this today, and because I often are not good about doing that. So the question was today, what do you want to talk about? Avocados Dabley wants to talk about sex, baby, which we kind of did, right? We did that. What's that? That in the what was the trending topic popcorn day. Okay, look, if this isn't talking about sex inadvertently, I don't know what to tell you. There you go, AD. There, you can talk about, what'd you say? You said you wouldn't pop inside her, but you'd pop on her. That's enough. That's enough. I don't need any more of that here. I'll give you the music. Hey, AD, let's talk about sex, baby. Oh, yeah. Stop it. Okay, enough of that shit. Let's see. Scribe Lights. Dog Thrapple. Does Haley have a chance? And if not, a chance at VP? I am going to guess no. In fact, here, I have a I just happen to have an article open about that because that was on the list. Let's see. Find Nikki Haley. There's oh, here we go. Let's start here, right here. There happened to be an article about that as we speak. According to polls, Donald Trump towers over Nikki Haley in the Granite State, which everyone said that this was her best chance to gain some ground that New Hampshire would be, because in South Carolina, where she was governor, no, Donald Trump's commanding lead there. Well, anyway. Former President Donald Trump is towering over presidential primary challenger and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley in New Hampshire. Two surveys released days ahead of the Granite State's primary found. The first survey is St. Anselm poll released Tuesday that shows Trump with a majority support, 52% in New Hampshire. In New Hampshire's Republican primary race, the former South Carolina governor comes in second place, down by 14 points with 38% support. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis comes distant third, failing to break even double digits. Haley holds an advantage among independents, 52% to Trump's 37%, while Trump leads among Republicans with a 40-point advantage over Haley. The survey ultimately concludes that Trump received a boost following his historic performance in the Iowa caucuses, moving from 45% support in early January to 52% support. So that look, and really, honestly, New Hampshire and South Carolina are probably the only places where if you don't see her make major ground there, I don't think you're going to see. I think it's going to happen. Now, there's also, and in fact, Nikki Haley herself is lowering expectations in New Hampshire. Wait, let's get it on the screen here. And it's a big oof, according to this article. After coming in third place in the Iowa caucuses, Nikki Haley needs a solid victory in New Hampshire. For weeks, Haley's top surrogate in the Granite State, Governor Chris Sununu, has been predicting victory. If everyone that could vote in the primary comes out and votes, not only she's going to win it in a landslide, and that's not an exaggeration, so you're going to see a record. Whoa, wait a minute. He's setting a bar there for you. Who's Carl? Oh, I see. He was talking to Jonathan Carl. And Sununu saying, no, it's an expectation. Well, Fox News called out Sununu for moving the goalposts. It was just a couple of days ago you predicted victory. Oh, because let's see. Oh, here it is. A couple weeks later, Sununu told CNN's Dana Bash that if Chris Christie dropped out, which he now has, then Nikki Haley can make up 5 or 10 points and kind of give Trump that defeat that no one thought was possible in the next few weeks. He added, and I think it's very likely to happen. So again, I think the voters are going to come to Nikki's way. What is he saying now? According to Rick Klein of ABC News on Wednesday evening, Sununu gave a serious downgrade of Haley expectations in New Hampshire. We always wanted to have a strong second, Sununu reportedly said. That's the only expectation we ever laid out there. Well, no, because 2 times in 2 weeks, you said she was going to win New Hampshire. So anyway, so that he's the biggest surrogate there. And then so he's gone from Nikki Haley going to win New Hampshire and she'll probably, maybe, hopefully finish a close second. Meanwhile, according to NBC News, it almost sounds like the Haley campaign has given up on New Hampshire because Haley is keeping a low profile before the primary. She ducked out of the final debates with Ron DeSantis, and her schedule has become Biden-esque. We all know what that means. Nowhere. At a time when she ought to have packed the schedule. So it doesn't look like she's planning on. I think she knows where the cards lie, and it's not going to be winning New Hampshire, and she's not going to win South Carolina either, even though she was a fairly popular governor in South Carolina. Thank you, Scribe, for that. Lord Stanhope, what do you want to talk about? Ass, because it's what's for dinner. Okay, there you go. Here's your, there you go. That's all it takes. Okay, moving on. Next, let's see. Jimmy Das Hotep, what is your favorite smoked meat? Oh, that's a good question. You know what? I love just some good old-fashioned St. Louis style pork spare ribs. I just love them. I'll cut and trim them myself, throw them in a smoker. Although there's a great restaurant in my town called ZZQ. Probably as good as, and it's, listen, I live in Minnesota, so we're not known for barbecue whatsoever. But, when I go to Kansas City or Memphis or other places in the South, I always find good barbecue joints. And this place in my town rivals a lot of the places I've been to that are my favorites. Because one of my favorites in Kansas City, for example, it used to be called Oklahoma Joe's. Now it's called Kansas City Joe's. A place that started out of the back of a gas station. Oh my gosh, just probably the best barbecue in Kansas City. And Kansas City is known for barbecue. There's some spots in Memphis that are awesome, places in Dallas and Texas. Texas is a big brisket state. As far as ribs and stuff, yeah, they do good stuff, but they're big on brisket down there. But like ribs in Kansas City and Memphis, you either get the Memphis rub styles or the sweet Kansas City barbecue styles. Oh, love it. I love me some barbecued ribs. All right. Lord Stanhope, let's have a roundtable discussion on liquor we should buy and drink. Bourbon. Okay, next topic. Let's see. Avocados Diabli. Thank you, Lord Stanhope. No, being a former longtime bartender before I went into the mortgage business for TGI Fridays, I pretty much have tried every type of booze, alcohol there is. Now, not necessarily every brand or every, whatever high-end stuff, but I pretty much can I can tolerate just about any kind of liquor and in certain doses. I don't drink a ton, but I like different styles of alcohol. But I really like bourbon, and vodka is easy to mix with things. And I'll drink a Jägermeister here and then. So there you go. Avocados Diabli, can we talk about Bonnie Raitt too? She really wants to give us something to talk about. Not sure what though. Let's give us something to talk about. Something to talk about. To figure out, baby. That reminds me of my bartending days at Fridays, because that song was hot when I was a bartender. Anna Lynn, is the administrative state intractable? We're going to find out with that Chevron case. In fact, let's see. Do I have this? I have the fisherman story up. I had the fisherman story here somewhere. New England fishermen. Here it is. New England fishermen rally at SCOTUS to save their industry from environmental bureaucrats. And this is where you're at. New England fishermen's hope to catch a victory in this year's nation's highest court in a case of government overreach, a decision they believe will determine the fate of America's oldest industry. Two cases at the Supreme Court this week. Fishermen contend that is a constitutional violation for them to be mandated to pay government officials to join their fishing voyages as human monitors under the regulation by the Commerce Department's National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. It was like $780 a day for a monitor. The administration, they were forcing them to have a monitor on their boats, and they had to pay for it. Wow, that's interesting government overreach. Anyway, that's a case to watch because they have two cases, one on the Chevron thing, and then on this stupid thing where they were being forced to pay monitors. If they win that case, and boy, the only thing I don't dislike Vivek Ramaswamy. I just wasn't supporting him for president. But if the next president, be it Trump, decides to start cutting away at the administrative state, maybe. But it's gotta. I don't know, man. Is it intractable? I think this case will be a very important one to watch. The fisherman's case. So we'll see. Lord Stanhope, why are all the nudists at the nude beach either fat or elderly? I've never been to a nude beach. I don't know. because nudist beaches are not meant to be pretty. And so they fulfill their duty. Amazing disgrace. Have you heard anything about the Center for the American Liberty? Mark Dice did a video this morning on it. It seems like it's going to get some attention. Well, let's do a quick search on that. I got it down here in a second. Center, what is it? Center for American Liberty. Let's see here. Oh, that's Harmeet Dillon's thing, isn't it? Is that right? Center for American Liberty. Here's this is their website. Oh, and they're doing yeah, it is Harmeet Dillon's thing. Okay. Yeah, they do they basically a law firm that does lawsuits for conservative causes. The Center for American Liberty is leading the fight against the assault on liberty and by holding those who destroy our civil liberties accountable through the courts. They're basically what the ALU is supposed to be, but more for people on the rights cause. This ALU used to be a organization that was about civil liberties, about first, second, third, all the Bill of Rights violations that the federal government does against the American people. They used to try cases to protect people's rights, but somewhere along the line, the American Civil Liberties Union became strictly a left-wing causes organization, except in a few very rare First Amendment type cases, right? But for the most part, they can be reliably on the side of any given case that someone with a D behind their name would be on. Okay. And so Harmeet Dillon's group, called the Center for American Liberty, actually does stand up for things like free speech, like Second Amendment rights, like all the rights that are in the Bill of Rights, and basically constitutional rights, but usually arguing from a more traditional perspective. Okay. So yeah, no, is there something specific that's come up that you can talk about? I'm not sure. So for example, they've got, here's one, for example, Conan versus Spreckles. Middle school is a confusing time for kids, but especially confusing when schools exclude parents from important decisions. So a lot of these cases where some of these schools are saying, well, we're not going to let your parents know that we're transitioning you, or we're letting you change pronouns because you don't have the right to know what's going on with your kids. And so the Center for American Liberty is involved in cases where the parents are suing the school saying, wait a minute, you can't do things with my kids without my permission. Let's see, O'Hanley versus Weber. Big tech and big government are colluding to censor your speech, and we cannot let them get away with it. So yeah, a lot of those cases that we found from the Twitter files, the Center for American Liberty is the one fighting those cases. Layla Jane, and this is Layla Jane versus Kaiser Hospital Foundation. Layla Jane desperately needed help, but found herself under the care of medical professionals who chemically and surgically mutilated her. I think that's the case of where they transitioned her as a minor, and now she's suing them because, like, wait a minute, why are you doing something that's going to permanently damage me? We trusted you to help me, not to do your cookie cutter solution. So yeah, no, I know that's Harmeet. Yeah, Harmeet, and that's, what's her name? What's this girl? This girl right here. She's also someone who transitioned. She's suing her doctors too, because I mean, she had her breast removed at like 14, and they started doing all this transitioning stuff, and she's like, man, she could have just used counseling. Why do they automatically go to things that that will change your body chemistry forever, make you a permanent medical patient? So anyway, I'll check out Mark Dice's video. I haven't seen his videos for a while. Probably, every once in a while they make it so you don't see certain videos, and so I will check it out. I'll check it out. Lord Stanhope, what's more nightmarish, waking up to Chrissy Teigen or Big Mike Obama? Oof. Holy shit. Well, it depends. It depends if you're Barack Obama, or if you're, what is his name, John Legend, or if you're John Legend. See, at least in John Legend's case, Chrissy Teigen is never going to whoop his ass. You know what I mean? Michelle Obama whooped Barack Obama's ass. In fact, he put out a tweet the other day wishing her happy birthday. By the way, happy birthday, Michelle Obama. He put a tweet out the other day, and he puts this picture in the tweet of her standing and probably on their property somewhere, the ocean in the background. And she's like looking down, and her face is all crinkled up and her eyes are closed. And I'm like, brother, you put that picture of your wife on the internet for the world to see, where she looks all jacked up and her eyes are closed? She's gonna whoop your ass. She deserves it. I mean, I wanted to whoop his ass, and I don't even care for the Obamas, but I'm like, you put that, because sometimes, look, let's be honest. Everyone be honest here. Sometimes Michelle Obama looks really nice in pictures. She's not a bad-looking woman, except sometimes they got her, she looks all jacked up because she's a big woman. But sometimes, she's a decent-looking woman if you are honest. Don't lie and tell, I can't stand her. But I tell you what, there are some pictures where she looks jacked up, and this picture, she looked jacked up, and I can't believe the former president of the United States put a picture of his bodyguard on the internet that looked like that. So I'm just saying, I'm going to say Big Mike is more scary. All right, Avocados Diabli. What reruns do you think all of the networks will show instead of the Republican debates that are apparently no longer a thing? You're going to see a lot of Law and Order. You're going to see, saw the other night when Trump won Iowa, and MSNBC, NBC, whatever, refused to run his victory speech with Rachel Maddow. Of all people, Rachel Maddow saying, "Oh, well, we don't put things that are untrue on our network." That lion hoe. And so, it's going to be Law and Order. It'll be, some hospital shows. They might even dig up some, Happy Days or some shit, just so they don't have to run the national convention. You're gonna have to go on Rumble on some right-wing news network to get the RNC speeches, especially if Donald Trump is the nominee for the president of the United States. And finally, Lord Stanhope, last question of the day: tuna, ahi versus salmon. Wow. Tuna or salmon? Do I prefer tuna or salmon? Okay. Ahi tuna is something that I like occasionally, whereas salmon, I could eat it 3 or 4 times a week if in different ways. So I'm going to say salmon. Okay, that's it. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me this week on Anniversary Week, 5 years of the Morning Night Live. I'm glad you joined us. If you haven't done so, please hit the like button now, share the stream afterwards, and I really hope that you had a good time today. I certainly did. Please, if you want to sponsor the show 24 hours a day, pdognight.live. Other ways to sponsor the show, I already said it. Share the stream and hit the like button. So, tuna steak is one of the best things ever. Tuna beats salmon hands down. Well, no, but he said, you wrote ahi tuna. And when I think of ahi tuna, I think of ahi tuna kind of in the raw or very lightly seared, But I love tuna. I like them both. I love tuna steaks too, man. I love tuna steaks. Really, if I'm choosing between the two, I'm going to have some mahi or ono from, I even like those better. But between tuna and salmon, I like them both salmon gets the edge. All right, I got to go. Thank you, everybody. You have a wonderful weekend. I hope you have something fun planned. I'm going to go see my 2 grandbabies. Thank you. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. I'll drop the links. Oh, by the way, I forgot one last thing. I have about 40 other articles up, links if you want to see things that are happening in the news. A lot of great stories out there. So I'm going to drop those in the links in the chat, in the outro, and also the description on both Rumble and YouTube. Thanks, everybody. Got to go. Have a great weekend. Bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.